Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we see that we're out into the garden, and today I'm going to be planting Swiss chard. Swiss chard grows into the greenhouse. It does very well, and I planted it in the garden last year and it did very well. And so I want to plant some seedlings that I've sown into little containers, and I'm going to show you how. Stick around and I'll show you how to plant Swiss chard. It's super delicious, easy to cook, very fast, and lots of minerals and vitamins. So this is what Swiss chard looks like when it's little. I'm not sure how many plants is in there. They're in different sizes. We got rain coming up in about 3 days, so I like to get these into the ground. Today's planting I'm going to do a little bit differently than my other videos. This is garden lime. It's full of nutrients, minerals. It helps with the pH. It's great for growing. I always use this. Today I'm going to be using Miracle Grow. Miracle Grow is a little bit cheaper than going organic, but I've already got it pre-mixed, and this is going to save me a step besides putting my organic fertilizers in, my 13-13-13, which is what I'm going to be using also. I got this mixed up, and I'll just, when I'm supposed to water it, I'll water it. Like, once I get my plants into the ground, all this nutrients, all this fertilizer, then I'll water. But this time, I'm going to save all those steps. I'm just going to use the garden lime, the 13-13-13, and the Miracle Grow. So the garden area has been amended. It has 13-13-13 in it about 6 or 8 weeks ago, and also the garden lime that's been tilled up. We made our road here, and what I like to do is, I got a tomato plant over here, so I got to make sure my spacing's right. Now Swiss chard, it's kind of like mustard. If you've ever grown mustard greens, or it can bunch up together because the leaves are going to fold out. And so my spacing is not a big deal, because if I have it where I keep it harvested at the same time when it's time to harvest it, then these leaves are also going to smother out the light up under the soil right here, so that it'll keep the grass out. So we got rain, and I'm probably going to plant these maybe about 8 inches apart. Into the greenhouse, they're a little bit closer. It does super well. So I got my little hole. It's probably coming up to here. We're not going to go too deep because we're going to look at the roots. Now, if I don't have them in cell trays, this is a lot easier. If I don't have it in cell trays, then it's a little bit harder. But what I like to use is a popsicle stick. Just a little stick here that I use at some point in time to grow seedlings. And I'm just going to reach down in here and try to scoop one up. Now these leaves are very tender. We're just going to scoop it up. The soil is not too wet. And I can't get the out with the popsicle stick, but you see the root system is not that big. So we don't need to go very deep. So the first thing I want to do is take and put some garden lime in here, and then I'm going to put some 13-13-13, just a little bit, and I'm going to put some soil back over it. Then I'm going to over that fertilizer and that garden lime, because I don't want these roots to touch that fertilizer. And then I'm going to put a little bit of soil over it, and then I'm going to water it, and we'll be good. And all we got to do after that is make sure that this soil stays damp. Okay. So we're gonna I'm gonna put this 13-13-13 in here. I'm just gonna pretty much take a pinch of it, because this soil's already been amended. That's a good thing about amending your soil, is that you already got all the fertilizer and the garden lime is into the soil. It's rained on and rained on, so it works really good. I just like to put a little bit of fertilizer in there, so when these roots do grow, it reaches that fertilizer and produces it to burst. So now the garden lime, I'm not concerned the quantity. I just want it in there. And then I'm gonna take some of this soil, because our root system, remember our root system is really small, and cover that. And if I wanted to, I could just put garden lime on that. That's not going to hurt it. But we're going to take our plant and we're going to gently put it into this hole. Make sure it's not too deep. Now this soil is really soft, so it's easy to plant here. It's really soft, and we just got to be gentle with these baby plants. We're going to pack it down just a little bit to hold that plant, get out the air pockets, and to stabilize the plant. Then what I always do when these baby plants are this small, I like to put a circle around my plant. What this is going to do is going to hold the water so it'll go down and not spread out everywhere. Because right now the soil is a little damp, but we've had some not hot days. It's going to be over cloudy today, and temperatures around 70. So now we're just going to take this, and I like to hold my hand over this nozzle so it won't knock my plant. And remember, this is our Miracle-Gro, so it's going to get into this soil. It's going to moisten this soil and keep this ground moist. The temperatures are good, so I don't have to worry about it being overheated and drying out my roots. Now, once I put water on there, the soil is going to settle. And I might want to put some soil back around it just to hold that plant. Now the wind's not going to be blowing that much today, and so that's good. And that's how we're going to plant this. So we're going to grab another one. And we're going to reach in here. Now usually I plant these in cell trays, but I just sowed some seeds. I think I was going to give them to somebody, but I gave them some. But I just sowed these seeds this way to do it differently, so that people who don't have cell trays might be able to grow it. So we're just going to gently reach in here and take this popsicle stick, move the soil, try to lift it up. Now whenever you transplant, I like to do these plants smaller. Whenever you transplant, you might experience transplant shock. Now this is, we'll look at this one. I'm going to gently pull it away. This one probably is going to suffer transplant shock. But chard is pretty hardy. The roots got wrapped around, so that's a good thing about planting it into cell trays. So we're going to put it down in there. We're going to cover it up again. We're going to try to push it down in that soil because this is a bigger plant. And try to get that soil to stabilize the plant. We're going to make our little mound here. Put some soil around it. And try to make our circle. Now my rows are not very big this year, but as this plant grows, then I'll take the hoe and rake soil around it to hold the plant and make the row a little bit bigger. We're going to pack it down just a little bit, hold the plant, make our little valley, and then we're going to water it. Now you see how the soil is settling, the plant is going to move. Put some more soil around that base there. Then we're gonna come over here and do the next one. So get this water over here. Sometimes I like just to mix that soil up. Just gonna put a little bit of fertilizer, not that much. See our root system? That's why we got to keep it watered. Beautiful day today. Perfect weather. Take our water. And a Miracle Grow. Because see, remember, these are seedlings. They're just baby plants. And they need to be fed. This is where I take my time with the plants. That water want to run out. Giving that one a moment to settle down and water these other ones. And now these plants are ready to grow. Now this plant right here, you see, and we make our tag, so we'll stick it over here at the end of the row. But you see, this one's just by itself. So what I want to do is just not disturb the roots, reach down there, because it's not going to have much root system. It's just a baby plant. I've already got my 1313 in here, my 1313, and my garden lime. I mixed it up a little bit. Put a little bit of soil right there. And I see down here, this one's got roots all the way down here. We're gonna make that hole big enough. We're gonna put that same soil in there. This is kind of like doing it into a cell. You're gonna have that soil where the roots are not gonna be disturbed. Then we're going to get our water. The wind is picking up, so that's why you want to make sure that you kind of pack it around those roots and that base so it'll stabilize the plant. Now the wind has stopped. since it's cool today, this soil is going to stay damp pretty much all day long. Probably all day long, because this soil, it's dark dirt. It's black dirt actually. If it gets wet, it starts turning black. On this end down here, it's a little bit got more sand into it, but it'll stay moist all day long. Another way I like to do this is go ahead and dig my holes, spacing about 8 inches apart. Now, so you can go bigger, wider than that if you want to. Now I put the 13, 13, 13 in there in the garden lime and added a little bit of dirt. Since I had some soil left over, I just went and added some of that soil in there because it's got peat moss, vermiculite, perlite. It's got some good nutrients in there. So I was taking it back to the greenhouse. I'm just going to put it into the holes. Now I took my popsicle stick. Sometimes they'll come out like a little plug and the roots are not really disturbed. So this is my 162 cell tray. I got from House Tools, and we can see some plants that came up in here. Some are still coming up. Cell tray dries out really fast. It was just watered. It wasn't watered yesterday. I think it was watered yesterday. Anyways, if it wasn't watered yesterday, it was the day before at almost dark. So the reason I left this there because I want to help it to get out of these trays here. Now there's holes at the bottom of them. You can take a stick and stick it through, but first of all, I like to always try to take this popsicle stick and see if I can just scoop it up. Yep, it's dry. Well, it feels like the roots have gone way down there. So it's got a good root system. Didn't come out like I wanted it to come out, but that's okay. And I'm gonna make a little, got my everything in there. I'm gonna make a little indentation because I'm looking at the root size, the root system. And I'm gonna put some dirt around it. Same mechanism as before. Now, what I like to do is that once I take them out of the container or the cell tray, I want to go ahead and instantly give it some water. Let's see if I got any. Yep, I got a little bit of soil in here from the last plants. That's going to help hold it. All right, got my mound. All right, got my valley. A little circle here. But I find out if I'll go ahead and water, it helps with the transplant shock. It's putting that dirt around those roots and going ahead and giving it water. Gardening will teach you patience. Because you got to have patience. So most time I'll water this a little bit, but and it might be the soil that's in there. It's got a real super good root system on there. Real good. It's not tangled up. These cells help with the way they're built. Help with it not getting tangled, the roots getting wrapped around one another. I don't like my soil touching my leaves. I try to get this mashed down and make sure that it's also not touching these leaves. There we go. We have 14 Swiss chard plants here. If all of them make it, which it probably will, there's a little one down there, that's going to produce a lot of chard. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you tuning in. Yep, this is how we plant Swiss chard here. I've been planting it for about 3 years. I think it's 3 years. I really didn't think I would love it, but the beauty of it is just spectacular. Just alone, if you don't like Swiss chard, just growing it is just spectacular. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you on to the next video.